5 of the best gourmand perfumes for women that are currently on the market. These are all must sample. I'm not going to go as far as to say must own, but they're definitely must sample perfumes, especially if you have a proclivity towards sweeter olfactive DNAs. You'll notice that there's something quite delicious about all of these perfumes. All of them leave you feeling insatiable. They have this delicious quality about them, whether we're talking about chocolate or pistachio or vanilla or cotton candy or marshmallow or whatever the case may be. And of course, you do have some sweeter olfactive profiles that tend to lean in a more gourmand direction. You have some olfactive profiles that tend to lean in a more pseudo gourmand direction. What do I mean by that? Some of them might have the preponderance of floral ingredients in the heart, or they may have some wood sprinkled in there, or they may even have some aromatic ingredients. But at the end of the day, all of these have a sweet profile, and some of them might be a bit more mature, for lack of a better word. Some of them might be a little bit more youthful. Some might even go as far as to say juvenile. I don't think that's necessarily the case with any of these. I think all of these have a really polished personality. However, there is one on this list that I think is just an overdose of sweet. So it's not one that I would recommend for every lady out there. However, if you like sweet perfumes and if you wear them unapologetically, these are 5 you have to try. Now, a lot of these I know can be sampled at scentsplit.com. So please, if you're interested, check out ScentSplit. I'm going to drop all of the links down below. At the very least, get yourself a 5 ml decant or a 10 ml decant. So basically, ScentSplit is a service that makes you perfume decants or perfume samples. This way, you can purchase a sample for yourself, and the main thing to do is to try it on your own skin. You can't really go off of the thoughts, the opinions, and the sentiments of a reviewer or what somebody else has to say. Use this as a point of departure, not an end all be all. So at the end of the day, you need to get a sample for yourself, try it on your skin, see how it works with your pH and your skin chemistry. Does it last long enough? Does it evolve the way you thought it would? And does it smell to your liking? You know, I don't want anybody here spending hundreds of dollars, not to insinuate that everything on this list is hundreds of dollars. As a matter of fact, a lot of these are quite affordable, but I want you to, at the very least, get a sample, try it on your skin, see if it works for you. And then if it does, then that's the good news, right? You go out there and you buy the full-size bottle. So the first one that I want to talk about is a very milky, creamy, lactonic vanilla type of a scent. And just by that description alone, you may already have an idea of what it is. However, the thing is, there are so many alternatives to the original on the market where it's kind of like, wait, which one are you talking about? So I think the main one that all of the other perfumes are mimicking, for lack of a better word, is Bianco Latte by Giardini di Toscana. Amazing fragrance. I can't speak highly enough about it. It truly is one of the best milky perfumes on the market. It became a viral craze on TikTok. People are still talking about it ad nauseum, and I personally own it. I think it's an amazing fragrance. I got my bottle from Oswald in New York. They also have a lot of really hard to find niche perfumes. Not that Bianco Latte is hard to find, but you know what I mean. And there have been quite a few alternatives on the market. There's Cream Velvet by Kadlaj. There are so many brands. That Girl Viral Vanilla by Okja, which is also very good and very long lasting. However, this fragrance is inexpensive and it also has a beautiful presentation. This one by Latafa is called Eclair. Now, if you've never tried Eclair, what are you waiting for? This is a beautiful... Yeah, it smells like Bianco Latte. It has this milky, vanillic personality about it. It's so smooth and creamy and velvety. And if you're a gourmand lover, Eclair by Latafa is one that you have to get your nose on. Now, this is one of the few instances where I would say you can bypass the sampling process because, well, you may have to pay for shipping and then you have to wait for the sample to arrive. And, you know, I know these are fairly inexpensive depending on where you look. I either purchased my bottle from the TikTok shop or from Amazon. So just look around a little bit and inevitably you'll find it going for a good price in the vein of 30 bucks. It could be as high as 40 bucks. It depends. You know, there's always this sort of a supply and demand thing happening. But if you can find this perfume in the vein of 30, 35, 40 bucks, I would say it's worth it. Sometimes you'll find it as low as the 20s, but look around, wait for the right opportunity. By the way, this one may be a little bit too sweet, especially if you're entering the warmer months of the year in the climate in which you live. Perhaps you don't want to really wear a gourmand, but I do know there's a lot of girlies out there that like to wear gourmands all year long. So if that's who you are, if that's your personality, you enjoy your gourmands, you don't really stick to the fall and winter when it comes to the sweeter profiles, check out Latafa's Eclair. I think it's a beautiful gourmand perfume. Now, the richest gourmand, or maybe the second richest. Yeah, the richest gourmand. I've changed my mind. The richest gourmand on this list, inevitably, this stuff is super strong. It's brutal. This one by Anfar is called Dubai Chocolate Pistachio Kafa. Now, this is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. You have that powdery chocolate. It is so, so strong. I'm only going to spray it once. Okay, I'm going to spray it twice. I just love that pressurized atomizer. This stuff is brutally strong. I'm telling you, I have not encountered a stronger chocolate perfume in my career. And I love that creamy pistachio thing that's happening in here. You know, a lot of chocolate perfumes can be quite novelty scents. They can be quite linear. One that I always really enjoy, and I think it smells like an Oreo cookie, is Chocolate Greedy by Montal. And I think that one is phenomenal. And of course, there are so many other chocolate-based perfumes by Theodoros Kalotinis. He has one called Chocolate, or Velvet Chocolate rather. And that one is also incredible. But if you're looking for one with complexity, because of that pistachio that's in here, something with this dense richness about it. But I am cautioning you, you have to be a fan of gourmand profiles. If you're not a fan of gourmand profiles, you will not like this one at all. If you can't even tolerate a little bit of sweet, this is going to be your the bane of your existence. Let's just put it like that. But I love this one. I love chocolate and perfumes, albeit I have to be in the mood to wear it. Lately, I've been leaning towards a lot of the fruity chypre genres and a lot of the spicy aromatic fragrances. And so this is one that I wouldn't necessarily wear, and I think it's a bit out of season nowadays, but we're talking about gourmands, and for a lot of people, gourmand is an all year round thing. The next fragrance that I want to talk about by Maison Margiela is called Afternoon Delight. And I own this bottle as well. And the reason why I say I own this as well is because this is not my studio. This is not my collection. I'm actually at my friend Daniel's house. And I own this one too, right? So I have this back home in New Jersey. I'm currently in Miami, Florida. This is such a beautiful, warm, vanillic, also slightly milky perfume with this sort of a Madeleine cookie accord. It's delicious. It's very beautiful. It's pretty, but it's a bit on the lighter side of things. So if you're looking for a really rich and robust gourmand, this is not it. If you're looking for something a bit more subdued, a bit more, maybe not timid, but a bit more reserved, something that doesn't make as bold or as charismatic of a statement, I think Afternoon Delight by Maison Margiela is amazing. And this is the second newest release right behind Never Ending Summer. And that's another one that I also own. And that is a phenomenal orangey, citrusy type of a fragrance. Definitely put you in the mindset of summer. But I think this one is also super appropriate for spring, especially considering the fact that it's not too sweet of a perfume, you know? So the next one I want to talk about is one of my top two favorites from this entire list. I actually tried this for the first time just a few days ago. Despite the fact that I own a ton of fragrances from this brand, I own at least 10 fragrances from this brand going back to when the brand first was launched. And I have like the initial collection, which was originally housed in a different presentation. And I just really, really love this brand. And I love how the perfumer, by the way, the brand is Theodoros Kalotinis, and it's a Greek perfume brand. I love how the perfumer has been experimenting with a lot of gourmand perfumes, and he has, man, I have a few behind me here, a pear-based one, a fig-based one, a lemon-based one, a coffee-based one, a caramel one, a cinnamon one, a bubblegum one, a chocolate one, cherry, vanilla. My goodness, they're all gourmands. That's what it seems like. He's become the gourmand king. But the one that I think you need to try, I've spoken about Velvet Chocolate on my channel before. The one that I think you absolutely need to try is Pistachio Latte. When I tell you this stuff is good, I mean it is super good. And this stuff is so rich. It smells like pistachios and milk and chocolate, and it is one of the most delicious perfumes you will ever smell in your entire life. I'm not just saying that. I am not making it up. I'm not saying that for the sake of you running out there to sample it. This is not a sponsored post by this brand. This brand doesn't even know that I'm making this video. I am letting you know that this is an amazing fragrance. And by the way, like I said, my first time trying this was like 3 days ago. I fell in love with it. I sprayed it on immediately, and I keep going back to this. I've been smelling this every single day for the past 3 days, and I'm letting you know right now, I am adding this to my collection as soon as I go back to New Jersey, ASAP. Pistachio Latte by Theodoros Kalotinis. It is a beautiful, beautiful gourmand perfume. Also, the strongest one in this entire list, probably side by side with the Dubai Chocolate by Anfar. The perfume in the #1 spot, it is a trending perfume. It is a viral perfume. So many brands have put out their version of it. There's one called Cloud Candy by Kadlaj. There's another one called Marshmallow Blush by Paris Corner. There are so many brands that are kind of putting out their own dupe or twist or variation or whatever you want to call it of this fragrance, but we have to give credit where credit is due, and the original certainly deserves the credit. This is by far one of the most phenomenal perfumes that I've ever encountered in my entire life. It is such a beautiful, rich, gourmand perfume that is also quite wearable, you know, and I think that's a very hard balance to strike. I think a lot of gourmand perfumes can be a little bit kitschy or novelty-like. Like, I love this stuff, right? Don't get me wrong. And if somebody says, hey, I am a fan of chocolate, what do you recommend? This is going to be one of my top 2 recommendations, right? However, if somebody says, look, I want an everyday perfume, right? Not special occasion, not when I'm craving it. No. Everyday perfume, but I love my gourmands. I'm not willing to compromise on having an olfactive profile other than gourmands. This is one that I would recommend. And I would say that also because it's not just about the sweet notes and the gourmand notes. Like, there's also freesia, there's also strawberry. There's actually quite a number of different notes in this one. And this is incredible. I believe I initially tried this at Sephora, although I've yet to purchase a bottle. But, you know, given the circumstances and the room that I'm in, I can afford to do a video on it and feature it in the video. But you better believe that I will be purchasing this one soon. This one by Kayali is called Yum Bougie Marshmallow 81. Now, when I tell you this fragrance is amazing, it is amazing. I love this. I love this so much. It's such a great fragrance. What are the notes? Whipped vanilla, pink musk, creamy coconut, pink marshmallow, freesia, and strawberry. Just like I said. Freesia, strawberry, marshmallow, musk, vanilla, coconut. This is absolutely delicious. Kayali does such an amazing job. I have several Kayali fragrances, and the pistachio one is also very, very good, but I wouldn't recommend it as a gourmand perfume. I would recommend it generally as a fragrance, maybe not a gourmand perfume, but if you're looking for a gourmand, if you haven't tried Yum Bougie Marshmallow, it's super popular for a reason. This is one you absolutely have to get your nose on it. I hope ScentSplit has it. Maybe, maybe not. If I do find a link, I'll drop it down below. Hey, thank you for watching 5 gourmand perfumes that you absolutely need to try. I will always recommend these. They all have something very special about them. Some are more on the simple and subdued side of things. Some are on the bold, charismatic, and outgoing side of things. But let me know, what is your preference? What kind of gourmand perfumes are you interested in wearing and smelling and trying out? Drop your comment down below. Do you have any favorite gourmand perfumes at the moment? If that's the case, please let me know what they are. And if it turns out that I haven't acquired them yet or I haven't reviewed them yet, I will make a conscientious effort to cover them on the channel in the very near future. I always love the interaction. I always love receiving your feedback and your recommendations. So there's that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.